braking traces didn't just raise eyebrows in Maranello, they shattered assumptions. Sector 2 in Shanghai, a medium-speed sequence where Charles Leclerc had long ruled unchallenged, suddenly became contested territory. For years, Charles was Ferrari's late-braking benchmark, the one whose precision under pressure carved tenths out of corners and secured supremacy over every teammate. Vettel, Sainz, all of them. Then came Lewis Hamilton. In the post-session briefing, Leclerc watched the data from his own lap. Aggressive, confident, nearly perfect. But when Hamilton's telemetry was overlaid, everything stopped. The brakes were released later, yet smoother. No instability, no twitch, just control that didn't fit the model. One engineer leaned in and whispered what no one dared say aloud. How was he rotating that deep into the zone? It wasn't just adaptation. It was Hamilton rewriting the code of a car not built for him, finding a rhythm the simulator couldn't predict, and making it look effortless. And for Leclerc, who built his identity on brake mastery, this wasn't a racing detail. It was a direct, silent challenge. The man they assumed would follow had led, not just on one lap, not just in one race, but across multiple Grand Prix weekends. Shanghai confirmed it. The numbers weren't lying. Hamilton was braking 3 to 5 meters later than predicted, and not only making the apex, but doing so without a single lockup, without sacrificing exit speed. Inside a team where simulations are scripture, Hamilton had just committed heresy and made it look like instinct. Inside Ferrari's simulator rooms, this wasn't supposed to be possible. The models are gospel. Braking points, tire loads, deceleration curves, meticulously calibrated around Charles's style. And yet Hamilton's data from Shanghai made no sense. The engineers reran the sim again and again. The system spat out the same answer. What Hamilton did shouldn't work. The apex entry speeds, the brake pressure, release timing, it all defied the car's expected behavior. But the on-track data said otherwise. When Charles's race engineer muttered, "We built this model for Charles," Lewis just broke it. It wasn't frustration, it was awe. What stunned the team most wasn't just the raw metrics, it was the consistency. Hamilton replicated the same trait in Suzuka and again in Miami. This wasn't a one-off trick. It wasn't set-up sorcery. It was a fundamentally different approach to deceleration and rotation. Ferrari's chassis philosophy had always revolved around Charles. His early rotation cues, his sharp trail braking, his mid-corner throttle timing. But Hamilton ignored the old playbook. He drove by feeling, modulating brake migration on the fly, adjusting pedal mapping lap by lap. It was subtle, but when engineers overlaid corner entry telemetry from 3 circuits, the shift was undeniable. Hamilton wasn't just later, he was more efficient. Less pedal time, less correction, more stability. Leclerc still has speed, still has fire, but inside the garage, a quiet gravitational shift is underway. And history has shown what happens when belief moves from one side of the garage to the other. It's never announced, it's just felt. Ferrari's data systems are some of the most advanced in motorsport. AI-assisted analysis, predictive models, pressure maps layered with real-time simulation inputs. But none of them predicted this. Hamilton's braking style isn't just late, it's adaptive, dynamic, human. One engineer described it as alive, not in a poetic sense, but in how it reacts to changing fuel weights, wind gusts, tire temperature, even crowd noise. He drives with instinct the software can't decode, and that's what's shaking Maranello to its core. Because Ferrari's car wasn't designed for Hamilton, but now it's evolving around him, not by intention, but by necessity. Brake balance tweaks, energy deployment strategies, torque migration patterns. They're being fine-tuned to his feel, and that feel is more accurate than their models. For a team built on predictability, Hamilton is introducing controlled unpredictability, a form of chaos that works. Leclerc's inputs, while elite, are structured, predictable. He tells the system what to expect. Hamilton teaches the system to listen, and Ferrari, once skeptical, is now responding. They're not just integrating his preferences, they're relying on them. It's the start of a new code, one where human instinct isn't overridden by simulation, but amplified by it. In a season of narrow margins, that's the difference between potential and performance. It didn't start with declarations or demands. It started with 3 meters of braking. Now it's grown into something much larger. Ferrari, the team, the culture, the myth, is shifting, and the direction is clear. Hamilton hasn't just adapted to the Scuderia. He's begun to redefine it. Every braking trace, every corner entry, every quiet debrief has left fingerprints, not just on the car, but on the team's belief system. His engineer knows it, and so do we. Because in Formula One, respect isn't handed out. It's earned, corner by corner. And when a driver doesn't just compete, but converts an entire operation to his rhythm, that's not a teammate. That's a takeover. You won't see it in headlines. You won't hear it in press conferences. But if you listen closely, you'll hear it in the brake traces. And in the silence after the session, when engineers lean back in their chairs, shake their heads and realize that the car they built is no longer obeying the model. It's following something else, something human, something Hamilton.